Had a pretty busy day today on first floor and then timetable and that sort of stuff in the afternoon, catching up with every email that I missed throughout the day. When I looked at my timetable for tomorrow, I got year 12 timber for the first 2 hours. That's over the other side of the school in one of the computer labs. And then I got 11 construction for the first time in the prac room. And I thought, year 12 stuff is still all over the place. So I've just come in, cleared all the tables off, put jobs that were almost complete down here, the incomplete ones down in their storage down the end and just here, and gave the place a really good, like a sweep, get all the mess off the floor. Of course, my year 11 class is huge. We had 21 today. There's 29 on my list. And some of the boys even said when they walked into the theory room today, they went, oh, this class is huge. And I went, yeah, and there's not everybody here. So I sort of got them introduced to the course today. And so tomorrow, I'd like to get them in here and get them a little bit practice on just using the hand tools, because none of them have done timber since year 8. So they'll be a little bit rusty, I'm thinking. This will be their introduction to this workshop and how things work in here and where the tools are and where stuff goes. And I talked to them about the boots already and the vests. So looking forward to it. New group of kids. And we'll see how eager and keen they are. They seem to be, based off the information today. First lesson with year 11 in the prac. They worked pretty well. Paid attention during the demonstration for the most part. No complaints about having to put boots and the vests on, which was very good. Pack up was fairly good for the first time. All the stuff in the bottom cupboards. Tools all got packed away pretty well. The boots got left laying around, but reminders, they all got them in here. They seem keen on learning. It's a big group and they're not all here. Pretty cooperative with each other. That's my main thing, that they're working well together, sharing the tools and having a go. And all they're doing is starting out with 3 pieces of timber, and then we'll end up doing some framing joints in them. That's their practice, because that one there is what they need to do for the actual assessment, and I showed them that as well. So we're practicing and leading up to that. Working well. Just finished with year 12. They've packed up well because they know there's another class in here now. So their stuff is down the end, here, on the cupboards. I've really got to get these, and I'm saying this because it's going to hold me accountable. I've got to get these storage cupboards finished, because these were old welding bays. Just got to put plywood panel there, put in a door jamb, put these doors in. I've got to cut the doors a little bit shorter because you can see they're a bit tall for the space. But this space here is wider than the actual door, so I can actually hang a proper door jamb. This one will be the year 12 one. And I've got the similar thing here. I've already got this framed up. I've just got to put some ply on there, move the table in that one around like I've done here. Flip the table sideways, it gives you space to store stuff, and then room to actually walk in. I have to look at my timetable and see which one of my days is a little lighter, so that I can spend some time over here. Timetable seems to be smoothing out. There hasn't been a lot of stuff coming across to make changes, so I might be lucky and I might be able to get over here and do a bit of that. Don't think I'm that busy Friday. I've only got a couple of classes, so maybe I'll do it then. That's graffiti art that I can be appreciative of. Some of that's awesome detail in it. It's fantastic. Friday, just had year 11, had year 12 this morning, period 1. There's a beach excursion on today, so most of them were there. Year 11, most of them were here, and they've been working on their practice joints. You can see them packed away in that bottom cupboard. They did pack up well eventually. It took a while to get them going, and I just told them that packing up on side is really important, so hopefully they get that message fairly soon. They are working really well together. They are, as far as I can see so far, being sensible with the tools. They're all putting on a vest and boots, which is excellent. Hopefully they don't slack off with that. The fan is wonderful. The kids like it. They stand here working under that. Got it oscillating. A lot of paperwork that's got to be done with that. When I hand out their cluster tasks, they need to sign as recognition they've got it. So had to get them to do that. It's just some of those little administration steps that you got to make sure you do. It's now recess. Don't have classes in the middle session. I've got year 12 again this afternoon, so we'll see how that all goes. I stopped and bought some metal blades for my reciprocating saw. Bought my reciprocating saw, and I'm going to see if I can break down some of those tables that are out there. I only had the one year 12 student, so I did a bit of reorganising while he was here working on his project, which he completed successfully, which is good. Just got to finish the bookwork. Moved the dust extractor. So the dust extractor is down the end here now. The switch is much more accessible because it's just down here. And I'm thinking the reduction from this pipe to this pipe was far too low. So I'm thinking getting some PVC. I'll run that along here and I'll box around the saw, and that'll just suck all the dust away. I had to move that bench up a little bit, which meant the drill came up a little bit. This bench came up a little bit. The old spot welder's in the corner, but I don't think it'll stay there. I think we're going to look about getting rid of that. Time to pack up and leave.
It was good getting that bit of the workshop rearranged, because the dust extractor, where it was sitting, where the old one was, it wouldn't just switch on and off at the little switch. You had to go to the actual machine switch, which meant leaning over a bench with a bit of wood to try and I just went, that's not good enough. So I got it moved, and that was a fairly major bit of movement around. But it's good because the dust extractor is still out of the way, and the machine that was over there, the big spot welder, that's still out of the way. And it's, I think once I sweep up and clean up a bit, it'll look a little bit more usable space. Once you get a good extraction across there, I'm going to need a 100mm PVC, which I think I've got some at the house, just to get that straight run. And I've been looking around the room trying to figure out where I can put other stuff, because getting a new display, like a big touchscreen display, in one of the textiles rooms, and that room currently has a smartboard data projector, which I said, well, I'll take that in the construction space, because if I could do that, then I'd be able to have other materials up. We could do small theory lessons and break up lessons into a little bit of theory, a little bit of prac. Probably be a lot more productive with the class, rather than trying to just have the 2 timetable theory lessons which go for an hour, and you end up losing some of the students during that. So if I could do it in little bits, because I have a data projector to put up things for for Google Classroom or presentations that I've got, or that sort of thing. So, and I measured that up, and it's 1900 wide with the speakers on there. I should have measured it without speakers. 1900 wide with the speakers, and 1700 high from the bottom of the tray to the top of where the short throw data projector is that hangs above it. Where my whiteboard is now isn't wide enough unless if I take one of the cabinet doors off on either side of where the whiteboard is, that'll make it just the right width. But I've put that fan up above there, which kind of will be in the way. The shelf I put up for the class boxes would kind of restrict how high I could put it as well, so I'm going to have to take that off the wall. The fan, the tube that hangs down from the fan, I could probably chop off a little bit. I think I'll work on it next week, work out exactly. That's probably the best spot, because they're going to do it all in one sort of day. They're going to professionally install the board, which means adding the power and anything like that. So I have to decide where it's going to go by next Friday. I look forward to having that. I think that'll be awesome. I just had a thought about those 2 storage areas down the end, which I need to finish putting together. I'm not actually sure on the space just in front of them, but at the moment there's that space down the back, and then it's got some cupboards up the front, which is where all the little jobs at the start of the course get thrown. 2 for year 11 and 2 for year 12. And I'm just thinking, if I get those storage areas set up, I could actually have those 2 cabinets, little cube cabinets, inside that space as well. So little jobs go in there, and then when they're doing the sawhorses and that, all of that stuff goes into the larger area, and it'll be all locked up, closed up. Really got to get that sorted. So that kind of adds to the clutter at the rest of the room. If I can get those 2 cabinets down there, that'll kind of open up the front end of the classroom. I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head with things that I can actually make this a lot. It'll make the space feel roomier, and it needs to with such a big class. Think it out loud. There you go. I'll figure it all out, and then I'll check the measurements next week. I know I said I was going to try and cut up some of that steel. When I got back to the staff room at recess, got a coffee, and then sat down to check emails, and there was stuff about timetable and stuff about other stuff, and I started doing that, and finance stuff for school, and doing all those, and then somebody comes to talk to me about something else and help them out with that, and then get back to what I'm doing, then somebody else comes in to talk about something else, and it was just constant. And it got to lunchtime and I realised I hadn't eaten recess, and it was halfway through lunch at that point. I was like, eat something. And so didn't get anything done over in the work area, and the new cutting blades and the cutting disc that I bought are still sitting in here, because I never got out here to try and even make a start on it. Do that all next week.